There are people who will offer help to everyone, but themselves. They are the quiet fixers, the ones who hold everything together, without ever reaching out. Their strength looks admirable from a distance, but underneath, it trembles. They've learned that asking for help can cost too much: pride, safety, control, love. So they build lives around self-reliance, not because they want to be alone, but because being helped once felt like being exposed. To them, vulnerability isn't soft, it's dangerous. It means giving someone the power to walk away, to misunderstand, to see the parts they worked so hard to hide. So they carry it all. They carry until it hurts. And even then, they smile and say, "I'm fine." There are people who move through life quietly, carrying everything without showing it. They manage, adapt, organize, fix, until the world believes they never need help. But behind the calm, there's a quiet heaviness, a fatigue that feels older than their years. They're not cold or distant, just careful. They've learned that asking often leads to misunderstanding, that vulnerability can invite pity, judgment, or dismissal. So instead, they smile. They say no worries when they're crumbling inside. They let gratitude replace need and silence replace pain. In the stillness of night, their mind whispers the truth. That they wish someone would notice without being told. That they long for connection, but fear it will come with conditions. This silence isn't pride, it's protection. It's the body's way of keeping the heart safe. But protection can become a prison, and one day, the weight of never asking starts to feel heavier than what they were trying to hold. Every pattern begins somewhere. For those who can't ask for help, it often starts early, long before they knew the word independent. Maybe it began in a home where tears were met with sighs, where comfort came only when you were quiet, where love was earned through good behavior, good grades, or emotional stillness. Children in those places learn fast. Needing too much pushes people away. Some grew up around chaos, parents too lost in their own storms to notice the child's reign. Others faced gentler neglect, the kind that looks normal from the outside, smiles at dinner, routine intact. But emotionally, a famine. So they adapted. They learned that asking was risky, but managing alone brought praise. "You're so strong," they were told, and strength became their disguise. By adulthood, the habit is bone deep. They don't remember how to lean, only how to hold. Every instinct says, depend on no one, because the memory of being let down still hums beneath the surface. Not loud, but constant, like an old song, the heart can't forget. The mind learns patterns the way a body learns balance, through repetition, through survival. For those who can't ask for help, self-reliance isn't just a choice, it's a neurological reflex. When safety depends on being untroublesome, the brain rewires itself around control. Each unmet need becomes a quiet lesson. Vulnerability equals danger. So over time, asking feels unsafe, even when no threat exists. In neuroscience, this is the echo of hyperindependence, a form of self-protection born from overactive stress circuits. The body remembers what the mind tries to dismiss. Cortisol rises at the thought of dependence. The heart races not from danger, but from exposure. They call it avoidant attachment. But for the person living it, it's not theory, it's instinct. The nervous system still guards against the ghosts of disappointment. Help feels like surrender. Dependence feels like risk. And so the brain builds fences around the heart. Neural pathways that whisper, "You're safer alone." It's not pride. It's biology adapting to absence. A survival system still doing its job, long after the threat is gone. Beneath the calm exterior of the self-reliant lies a quiet fear, the fear of being too much. It's not that they don't want help, it's that the idea of asking feels like inflicting harm. They've spent years being the listener, the problem solver, the steady one. They know what exhaustion looks like in others, and they'd rather collapse in silence than risk adding to someone else's load. This fear is subtle but deep. It shows up in the small pauses before sending a text, in the instant "I'm fine" that interrupts a kind question, It's a fear born from history, the memory of being met with sighs, irritation, or silence when they once reached out. So now, they apologize for existing. They downplay their pain, laugh it off, and give instead of receiving. They love by not needing. But love built on absence leaves a hollow kind of closeness, a bond without weight, a connection that never gets to breathe fully. Because true connection doesn't form from perfection. It forms from need, and the hardest thing for them to believe is that they are allowed to take up space in someone else's care. Eventually, every wall grows thin. Even the strongest self-reliance begins to tremble under the quiet weight of everything it holds. For a long time, they don't notice, because coping feels like breathing. They work harder, stay busier, pretend better. Until one day, the body refuses. The breakdown doesn't arrive with noise. It comes softly, a missed call, a tear they didn't mean to cry, a sentence that catches in their throat. The moment the armor cracks is not a collapse, but a revelation. That strength without softness has become suffocating. They realize how lonely survival can be, how isolation, once protective, now feels like exile. The walls that kept danger out have also kept tenderness away. And in that fragile moment, something shifts. The exhaustion itself becomes honest. They whisper, maybe to no one in particular, "I can't do this alone anymore." That sentence, once impossible, becomes a quiet doorway. The first crack in the armor is not failure. It's the beginning of being known. Learning to receive is not as simple as saying yes. For someone who has lived behind walls, it feels unnatural, like speaking a forgotten language with trembling lips. At first, help feels heavy. A hand on the shoulder burns with awareness. A kind question feels like interrogation. Their instinct is to retreat, to apologize for being seen. But slowly, with safety and gentleness, something softens. Receiving begins in small gestures. Accepting a ride, letting someone listen without fixing it, not rushing to repay kindness. It's the practice of sitting still while another heart leans closer. Encouraging over time, they start to understand, help is not proof of weakness. It's proof of humanity. They realize the world doesn't collapse when they are vulnerable. It expands. This is how healing begins, not through dramatic breakthroughs, but through quiet moments of allowing. It's learning that being cared for isn't a debt to repay, but a connection to keep alive. And though the fear never vanishes entirely, each act of receiving becomes a small rebellion against the old belief that they must carry everything alone. There is a quiet strength in admitting, "I need you." It isn't weakness, it's the courage to let life move through you, to open the hands that once clung so tightly to control. People who could never ask for help begin to see that need is not the opposite of strength, it's the root of connection. Because love without need is performance. But love that allows need is real, imperfect, human. They start to understand that the heart was never meant to be self-contained. That resilience isn't isolation, it's endurance supported by belonging. And asking for help isn't collapsing, it's trusting someone enough to let them see your humanity. The soft power of need lies in its honesty. It says, "I can't do this alone," but also, "I'm brave enough to let you in." And perhaps that is what healing truly is, not learning how to carry more, but learning how to set something down and let someone else hold it with you. Because in the end, being helped doesn't make you smaller, it makes you whole.